Yo guys, it's Mike from Just Lifestyle, and today we are training 39 minutes, so let me change this. Let's actually do 39 minutes today. I reckon I can squeeze it in. Yeah, so we're gonna just start off with some blind tactics, and then we're gonna switch to our puzzle streak, a bit like the old streams. I feel like I'm just feeling a bit rusty, so I think it'll be good just to do some of these. So let's, I haven't seen this position, so let's just get into it. So, if you haven't seen a blind tactic before, the idea of this is that you've got the notation on the right, you need to visualize the moves in your head, and then solve the tactic at the end of the moves. So we've got f4, rook e5, rook cd1, queen f6, e5, queen e6, f5, queen takes a2, f6, queen takes b2, knight b5, and rook c1. So if I'm not mistaken, at the end of this line, black's got a queen here, black's got a rook here, we've got a rook on d1, we've also got a knight on b5, we've got pawns on e5 and f6. So I think the interesting thing to note is that one of our rooks will be pinned, probably the e rook. So I'm looking at some kind of attacking idea with rook d8 check, because that will force king h7 and then bishop e4. I think after bishop f5 and take should be mate. I think this is just a mate. So yeah, let's give it a go. Yeah. Okay, nice. So we had a good visualization of that. Let's make it a little bit harder, and then we'll get into the puzzle streak. Did this work? Let me refresh it. Okay, so let's give this a go. So bishop c7, rook a b1, rook d8, rook b7, rook d7, queen c5, bishop e6. From black, I see. Queen takes c6. Bishop takes c4, knight takes c4, queen g6, knight h4, attacking the queen, queen takes e4, knight takes e4, and knight takes e5. I have no idea what any of those moves. I mean, I thought black just sacked the queen. No idea what was happening, so let me go through one more time. Bishop c7, rook a b1, rook d8, rook b7, rook d7, queen c5, bishop e6, queen takes c6, bishop takes c4, knight takes c4, queen g6, knight h4, queen takes e4, knight takes e4. It's queen takes e4, queen takes e4. Okay, that's why I was getting confused. Okay, now it makes more sense. Yeah, because the knight is already on c4. Okay. So queen e4, knight e4, and then knight takes e5, and black to play and win. Right, so if I'm not mistaken, I think white's got a knight on h4, a knight on e5. Black's got a knight on e4. Black's got a rook on d7. White's got a rook on b7. I think we still have a bishop on c7. Position something like that. Oh, and the bishops have traded, right? I think the bishops have traded. Oh god, this is this is doing my head in. One more time. Bishop c7, rook b1, rook d8, b7, rook d7, queen c5, bishop e6, queen c6, bishop c4, knight c4, queen g6, knight h4, queen e4, queen e4, knight e4, knight e5. Yeah. Actually, I have no idea. So what is the point? I mean, the point is, I feel like white's got some loose pieces. Maybe we could like win some material. I mean, what's the current material situation? I think in that final position, we have 2 knights, a bishop, and a rook against 2 knights and 2 rooks. And white's also got 2 extra pawns. So I think we're down an exchange in 2 pawns, if I'm not mistaken. This one is really tough, unless I'm just being an idiot. What's the idea? Is there like some mating idea? I mean, we've got these 2 knights here and a bishop on c7. It feels like there could be something to do with like attacking the king somehow. Just don't see it. I'd love to be able to move the bishop with check or something, but I really don't get this. Okay, I'm going to go through it one more time because maybe I'm missing something like really important about the position. Chat, you're welcome to try it as well. But yeah, I'm really struggling. Bishop c7, rook ab1. It's rook ab1, yeah? Rook d8, rook b7, rook d7, queen c5, bishop e6, queen takes c6, bishop takes c4, knight takes c4, queen g6, knight h4, queen takes e4, knight takes e4, knight takes e5. Oh, no. I thought with the bishop on b6, it could be some kind of bishop takes f2, and on rook f2, maybe like some rook coming down to the back rank kind of idea. Oh god, I don't have a clue. Oh, it might be that though. Oh, damn. Knight e2 check, forcing king h1. Then knight takes f2 check, forcing rook takes f2. And then rook d1 check, rook blocks, and rook takes f1 mate. Wow, that's nice. That's nice. I don't think I've seen this motif before actually, with a knight on f4 and a knight on e4. So really good to see this. So check, check, and then mate after taking on f1. Yeah, let's take a look at that if they'll allow me. No, they won't. But yeah, I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but we had 2 knights here. They had a king, rook, and a pawn. And basically we could give check, forcing the king in corner, and then sack the knight. They had to take, and then we could come down, check, and then pick up the rook with mate. Yeah, that was cool. Okay, now we're warmed up. Let's try some Puzzle Streak. To remind you guys, I have this... I don't know how else to put it, but autistic goal of getting a puzzle streak of 74. Because as you can see, we've got 38, 56, and therefore the missing number is 74. So we're aiming to get a puzzle streak of 74, but these puzzles get harder and harder with every puzzle. So, I mean, all we can do is our best, right? So let's give this a go. Okay, so, it's been so long since we've solved any puzzles. So what do we need to do? We need to evaluate. We then need to find the goal in the position. We then need to consider our candidate moves, and then find the solution. So, evaluation-wise, we have king, knight, and pawn and rook against king, bishop, pawn, and rook. So we've got knight against bishop. Typically, bishop and rook better tag team than rook and knight. However, when we look at king's safety, black's king is weaker. given the fact it's limited to the back rank. Tension in the position, the rook is being attacked. The rook is well placed behind the enemy pass pawn. Also, on another note, I mean, I will solve this first, but I just want to show you a game. Like, I want to show you this position. Because despite doing all these pass pawn tactics, I'm still so bad at it. Like, actually, let's just quickly do this one now. Yeah, here. White's got a pawn all the way to e7. Black to play. Is there a way to defend, or are we screwed? I'll wait a bit in chat to see if anyone responds. But yeah, I mean, I completely messed up this position. I managed to draw at the end because I managed to flag the guy when he had a king and a queen against a king. But yeah. So in this position, there's a very simple draw. And it's basically just king e6. Where were we? So yeah, so here, I couldn't see a way to draw. So I just played rook e6, which completely sucks because then he just goes rook d8 and queens, and then I'm lost. But yeah, I could actually play either king d6 or king e6. And both of them, the point is that, yeah, if the rook moves anywhere, then we can just take the pawn. And I'm still so bad at, like, these motifs, like, under time pressure, knowing what to do. But here, you know, my opponent is 12 seconds, I have 35, like, I have to be able to spot this. So, yeah, I don't know, these pass pawn tactics are still, like, I'm just so bad at this intuitively. But okay, every time we make a mistake, hopefully we learn a bit more, so... Okay, so what's going on here? So again, black's got this pass pawn, the rook is behind it. We've got a pass pawn. Doesn't look like it's well supported though. So has to be to do with something with this king, because that's really the only trump we have. Oh, and then I noticed actually this bishop is a bit vulnerable. We can give a check, and wherever the king goes, it's simply a fork. And that should be enough to be winning. I think it doesn't matter. So check, king here, check, king here, yeah. It's not like they're attacking the rook or something, but one move too slow. So I think we can just go ahead and play it. Yeah, okay, that was easier than I thought. I thought it was going to be really hard. But okay, let's keep going then. So how are we doing for time? Okay, we've got lots of time. So white to play. Okay, so really we should be evaluating carefully, but rook takes f6 just looks so strong, right? The rook can't take back because we come down and give a check. If they block, we just take and mate. If we take here, this knight is pinned. So I feel like even if they throw an intermediate move, we can at the very least take. And in the starting material, okay, we're like 2 pawns down, but if we win a whole rook, that's going to be enough. So I'm really tempted just to play this. But... something I'm missing. Even if they push, we can always just play king h1 to be extra safe. Yeah, it has to be correct. Why wouldn't it be? Let's play it. Oh, that's a scary move. Oh, I did not see this move. Okay. Well, I'm quite lucky then rook d6 is probably just winning, right? Because I saved my rook. But yeah, I really wasn't calculating carefully enough. Like, I really should spot this check. I think this will be enough. Wow, okay. If we want to get to 74, I can't be calculating like this. Okay, let's try again. So in this position, okay, we've got king, rook, and pawn against king, rook, and pawn. We've got some pressure on this rook. We can play rook a5. this looks like a really strong check, because if king here, which is the only logical move, then we can take, pawn takes, king here is just completely winning. And if they come this way, take. But then they can go king here, and this is a draw, because king here, and this is a draw. So hold on a sec, after this move here, then we probably need to take, and on pawn takes, we need to just push, because when they push, they push, we queen, they push, we're in time to stop it. So this is the correct move, but we have to be very careful here. So here we push, queen. Yeah, and if we take, the rule is they just need to get to this square to draw, they don't need to get to the corner. So we just push. Nice. Okay, let's keep it going. How did this come up in a real game? This is unbelievable. Okay, so we've got king, bishop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a rook. Okay, so we're slightly material down. However, pawns are very strong. It's going to take this rook a lot of time to win all these pawns. So, what the goal in this position, I think, should be either to like be promoting a pawn, or giving some kind of mate. I think we can be that ambitious. So my candidate moves would be taking, it would be pushing, maybe even king here is a nice candidate as well. So actually, having seen king c2, this actually looks like my best candidate. Just because I'm threatening to go here and mate, and queen with probably mate. So here, if they give check, we can block with the bishop, but then they can sack the rook, king takes back, and it's not so clear we're that fast, because white can play king here, and then, but then we can go here, and that should be just completely winning. So king c2 looks completely winning to me. And in that case, I wouldn't want to even look at anything else. I wouldn't want to second guess. Like, this is just completely over. If takes, king takes. And here, what happens if they push? We go back to the square. They push again. We push with check, and we queen with check. So, yeah, I think this has to be winning. Yeah, and then we can block. And then we take. Okay, very nice. I would think that this puzzle should go one move further, because after king d1, yeah, this feels most precise. But wow, g5 is even winning? That's unbelievable to me. This is apparently winning. Never in a million years should you risk this. Yeah, you're like 2 moves away from being lost. So, of course, in this position, principally speaking, we should always be just playing king b4, get rid of the pawn, and then have this winning advantage. Okay, let's keep going. I don't think anyone has messaged on chat, so apologies if I've just somehow allowed it to glitch and I haven't been responding to chat, but I didn't see anything. But okay, let's keep going. So queen 2 rooks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 4 pawns. Okay, so we're down by 2 pawns. King safety, I think maybe equal in terms of how weak our kings are, because mine is extremely exposed. White's, on the other hand, has a lot of pressure around this king. So to me, it feels like a position where we need to act quickly, otherwise these pawns are going to decide the game. So we need to find a way to quickly crash through, and my candidate moves involve either rook takes or rook takes. So both moves threaten mate in one. The nice thing is that white can't like give some check without losing the queen. So if rook takes here, we're threatening mate. How can white stop this mate? If white takes the rook, that looks very sensible. We can always take with check. And if the king were to move to either of these squares, this would be a checkmate. So on this move, that means they have to block. And then we can give takes on e3 check. And in that position, they can move probably to h2 as wisest. But then we can always take on f1. They can take on b7. And how does that go? Should be winning with the extra rook though, right? I mean, let's just compare it to this. If we take this way, again, they're threatening mate. If we take here, well, this doesn't lead anywhere, I think. And if we go takes queen e3, this looks promising, but maybe they can just like get back and hold everything. So I feel like this is the more testing. And then we've got this line where they block. And we give this check. And they go king h2. And is there something better that I'm missing here? Or just taking the rook is enough? Take some b7. Oh, we need to be careful though. We can't just go g6 because of this fork. So I think then I guess we could play like king f8. And if they keep giving checks, maybe then we can block. And probably avoid the pipette. I feel like rook f2 needs to be right. Let's go for it. Yeah, I mean the whole idea here was to take here. I can't see any other move that would make sense. And then queen e3 feels like the only way to continue the game. Yeah, and it is asking for one more move. So I assume this would be enough. Like I don't see any useful checks that don't just lose. I think this just has to be enough. Yeah, and the point is on takes on b7, we cannot go to g6. We can go to g6 because we can block. I missed this. Yeah, that's a really crucial move to see. Okay, nice. Interesting. So let's keep going. Okay, so immediately moves jump out at me, but to be extra careful, we should always try and evaluate first. So let's properly do it. 1, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So again, we're 2 pawns down. Same color bishops. In terms of king safety, white's king is weaker due to this pawn and this bishop and the fact that this queen can come in. Although the 2 extra pawns for white are actually really, really strong. So again, this is kind of one of those positions where we need to act very fast, otherwise we will probably be busted. So queen g4 is the main candidate move that jumps out to me, threatening checkmate in 1. And it feels very promising. There aren't many ways to deal with it. Like, there are some intermediate checks, like queen b3 may need to be looked at. Like, if king h1 could be something, so just to keep in mind. But on the whole, probably the only way to defend this mate is to play g3. In which then we can play queen h3. For the record, they can also take on queen with checks, so this is important to note as well. But let's say we go queen here and they play this. We can then go queen h3. They can take one, so we take back. And I guess the only way to stop mate is to take on f3, in which we can take back. And what's going on here? They can push e7. But probably not, because we can give bishop takes f2. But even so, king goes to h1, and if we don't have like a immediate mate... Oh, I guess we can always drop back to the square, covering the queen. And I think we should be up material there. So I reckon this looks very promising. I don't think this check is going to make a difference, although we should just check it. So if I go here... Yeah, I don't think that makes any difference. If anything, it's just worse. They can play like fancy moves like queen f7, but they're just too slow. Here, takes. I think they win a rook, but we win a queen, so we should be better. I think this has to be winning. So we take back, and they just take, right? But we can just take with the rook, and then we're just up material. Nice. Okay, great. Let's keep going. Okay, let's have some water. Let's refresh. If someone wouldn't mind just messaging the chat, could just be anything you like, just to make sure that it's working, because I had one stream recently where I didn't see any chat messages, and it was because it didn't refresh, so be useful for me. Okay, amazing. Hello Joe Janiki. I bought middle game calculation from your recommendation. Hey, fantastic. I guess this is the Romain Edouard. Did you get the one for club players and kits, or did you get the main one, like the main Edouard book? Because I mean, both are really good. They're just different standards. When you put asterisk rapid, what do you mean? What do you mean by rapid? Okay, let's try again. So Oh yeah, and thank you Joe for writing in the chat. Now I know that it works. Perfect. So okay, let's try and evaluate and solve this. So again, just quick counter material. King 3 pawns, king 3 pawns. Obviously 2 rooks, 1 rook each. So our pawn looks healthier than their doubled pawn. So that's worth noting. King safety wise, I feel like neither king is so weak. In fact, maybe it's more about the activity, and black's king is fairly active, although let's say if all of this trades on the queen side, our king will be more active to gobble up the king side pawns. So I don't think, let's say playing rook c8 is the end of the world, because yeah, if black wins our pawn and they take back, sure, we're a pawn down, but only for one move, right? We're gonna take and then come here, and then this should be winning, I think. So I probably wouldn't want to play here, because then king can take, and I don't really want to play a rook end game if I can help it. So I might want to just play rook c8 and just provoke black to just take my pawn. This would be my instinct. Let's say I go rook here and they play king e6. I push the pawn and they hide on king f6. Is there actually a way to make progress here? Or have we... this is such a horrible puzzle number 55 to have to try and solve, because lots of interesting ideas here. So if rook c8, king e6, push c7, king f6. I mean, like, we could go rook h8 at the end there, and then when they take our pawn on c7, we could take with check. Maybe that's a winning rook endgame with this extra pawn. I just don't fancy this rook takes f7 because of king takes. And if we take with the king, then they can take on g3, and if we take with the rook, take with the rook. Maybe that's winning, actually. Maybe we're going to win this pawn by force. Maybe the problem with this is that this line is indeed just too strong. It's really hard for me to understand. Maybe I'm missing something entirely. Let's have a look at some more candidates. I can give a check, but they just take my pawn. I feel like that doesn't do anything. Maybe we just have to start gobbling up. They take here. For the record, they can't take with the rook, because then I give check and then it's very easy. Then I just win. So they have to take with the king. And now here, I don't even have to take on f5. I can even give f6 check. And even though this is a very lazy way to solve this, I have the feeling that at least one of these moves will be winning. Like either rook f6, rook takes h6, or just rook takes f5 immediately. I feel like one of these should be winning. And I don't see what else we can do. Except for this. It doesn't... How do we make progress here? Because black's not going to get in Zugzwang. Because black can just shuffle the rook on this file behind the pawn. Or is that the way to win? Oh god, is that the way to win? Because rook... I'm not going to check chat in case someone has the answer, but king e6, king f6. Oh, our king is actually trapped. That's a big point. But then we can always play h5. I guess they give a check. I don't know, they can come all the way back. King, rook here, king here. And then maybe they go back to this annoying square, but they can never take this pawn. And do we actually win this? Let's say we start bringing the king all the way over, right? As soon as this king touches the pawn, then I think we can just start giving checks. And there's nowhere for the white king to hide to allow for the rook to get out the way. And whenever the king approaches the rook, we just stay on the file. So I reckon that's a draw. I reckon once the king gets here, it's a draw. So by that logic, I think we need to take. I think we're going to do it. Oh, thank God. Oof, thank God. Okay, so I did not consider king e6. So what's going on? Well, we can't push because they just take. We can go back, which might allow some kind of repetition, but then we could come here instead. Alternatively, we can also take here, but we have to be careful of checks like this that actually wins the rook, so let's not lose the rook. We can also play rook h7 immediately. Oh, that's such a horrible position to have to solve accurately. Which is why I'm bad at these pass one endgames, right? Because they're so concrete. I hate how concrete it is. Like, what's the difference between coming here, provoking king d6, and now coming back, as opposed to just coming here immediately? I don't see why there's a difference. Maybe the difference is, if I come here immediately, this check might be really annoying, which pacifies my king. If I give rook here first, and they play rook back, and then come here, they don't have this check because I can take this pawn. So this could be the move, but it just feels so wrong. Like, this is what I'd play in a game, but I feel like it's just not a puzzle move, especially for like... I don't know what to do. There's so much on the line. There's so much on the line. We can't get this wrong. Well, let's think about this. If I go rook here, they don't have to come king back, right? They can always give a check, and I would be forced to like pacifize my king anyway, and then they can come here, and there's not really much of a difference. So maybe I should just play the most simple move of just taking on, playing rook h7, because they can't take the pawn because of this check. It feels very simple. If they give a check, we just go back. But then, okay, let's say we come back here and they give a check. And we come king here. Is this strong? They can't take because then we can push. But then they can always come back down here. I don't know. I know we can't take the pawn because of check. So it's just a toss-up between these two moves, I think. Unless I'm missing a candidate move again. Oh man, what is the difference? What is the difference? I'm not gonna check chat. I see some messages. I'm not gonna check it just in case, but I don't see the difference between these two moves. I mean, I feel like Rook H7 looks more correct, but due to the concrete reason that King D6 Rook H7 feels even stronger, I'd want to play it, but I feel like maybe I'm missing a move for black here. Maybe the problem is King D6 we go back. Maybe they can take with the king, right? And we take, and they just like come king here or something. Maybe this is quite annoying. I don't really see how it's so annoying though. We can even just play king rook here and then take the pawn next. If we come here immediately, what if they give a check? We come down. Yeah, and if we play rook here and they give a check and we come down. Oh, it's basically the same, isn't it? It's basically the same. Probably this is just better. I feel like this is just more active. You have a check. Threatening to just win the pawn. I don't think they can do much about it. I think this makes so much more sense. I mean, we have to do something with the rook, right? Like, there's no move like this because then they just take. So it has to be one of these moves. And this defends it tactically and also creates a threat. Like, that has to be better. That has to be better. This has to be better. Yeah, let's play it. Oh, thank God. Oh, man. Okay. I made a typo rapid, so I did rapid correcting typo. But I don't see why you wrote rapid, Joe Janiki. Unless you made a previous message, which I can't see. Because all I see is, hi, I bought middle game calculation from your recommendation. So, I'm very confused. Welcome, Josh. Hello, hello. And welcome, Frizz. Hello, hello. So, Frizz has given a whole line why Rook C7 is probably wrong. Oh, wow. So, Rook C4. So Frizz was giving King D6. We'll take a look at that in a sec. But apparently this is a draw. So if King D6 and we play this is a draw apparently. Like, this is... I don't see why this wouldn't be winning, but Rook end games are hard, so this is a draw. And Rook H7 immediately. Yeah, I guess the difference is we keep the pawn. Like, even after check, they just keep the pawn. There's no way to win the pawn. So yeah, it's just clearly better. It's clearly better. But in fact, on this position where, not this, sorry. Why won't it let me delete? Oh, okay, because it's some weird puzzle analysis. Okay. If we were to play Rook C7 and King D6, then Rook H7, and this does win the pawn. So. But now this is winning. What? Yeah, I guess now the point is the king and rook are more active and black doesn't have time to push me back. So if Rook H7 and they try to push me back, this is still fine because they can't take the pawn. And we're going to be winning this pawn. And that's winning. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Rook H7, thank God. Yeah, so Frizz, I think you've got the right point, although concretely you're wrong, in the sense that that final position is winning, but this is definitely the better way round to play Rook H7, because then we keep the pawn. I think that's good. Okay, guys, I see that I've got 43 seconds to go, but I actually have a chess lesson at 12:30, so I'm not going to do another one of these puzzle streak exercises, because, yeah, I don't want to rush it. But okay, we got the streak going, we got these all right. And that means we're one step closer to 74. So this is great. So yeah, we're gonna be streaming tomorrow. And actually, if any of you happen to be in the area of Loughborough, which I doubt any of you are, but if you are, I'm hosting a rapid play tournament at the Fennell Street Club where the Loughborough Chess Club is. So you're welcome to join for that. It'll be at 7:30. But yeah, that's going to be exciting. I hope that all goes well. Haven't run a tournament in a while. But yeah, that's all from me today. Thank you guys for joining me on this training. And I guess see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.